Welcome to the podcast from the St. Louis Sportists, an occasionally smart, always irreverent look at sports in St. Louis and beyond. And now, your St. Louis Sportists.
Hello and welcome to another podcast from the St. Louis Sportist. My name is Ron Cook, and I am joined by Joe Sperlin.
Glad to be here. Glad to be back.
Doug Lansdowne.
Really happy to be back. Been gone for a while and looking forward to a good evening.
And Keith Farrell.
Cheers, everybody.
Tom Mathis was all set to join us, but then at the last minute, he received an assignment. And this is where we find out if his wife, Christy, is listening to the podcast regularly. In this edition, the Cardinals are at the unofficial halfway point of the season. They're actually 91 games in. The All-Star game ends with a swing off. Will we see Nick Saban on a sideline in the near future? And it's time for the Open Championship, which will reveal the champion golfer of the year. Does anyone else say it along with that guy when the time comes? Just wondering. The Sportists are brought to you by First Coast Steel Buildings, and hey, this is something very cool. Tonight, we're pleased to announce that Jason Sellers and First Coast will offer a 15% discount to anyone impacted by the tragic flooding in Texas. First Coast, always a family-first approach, and this is one way to step up and help those impacted by this tragedy. So to talk about this offer or learn more about First Coast, you can catch Jason and First Coast at 912-314-4848 or the number 1, stcoaststeel.com. And we'll hear more from them later in the show. But again, I think a really great thing Jason's doing there to help some people out. Coming to you tonight from the Local House Bistro Studios. They're our studio sponsor. Keith, you're now a veteran of the slot machines up there. Kind of nice to have.
Yeah, one for two.
One for two. Mm-hmm.
Yep. We bought 50% one night. Yeah.
50% will get you in the Hall of Fame if you're a batter. Anyway, 6 slot machines at the bistro, dartboards, and AV upgrade. Tim put larger TVs at the bar. So come in and check out much larger screens now, and you can catch your Cardinals. You can catch St. Louis City. In fact, Saturday night, you can catch them both at the same time. And you will just never miss play at the Local House Bistro. New menu with steaks, fish, great selection of appetizers and bar favorites, including burgers, pizzas, lots of apps. The group will take care of you very well up there. That's Tim, Rob, Holly, Whitney, Darian, Cheyenne, Dylan, Aubrey, and Cooper, who will deliver your food to you with a smile at 16524 Manchester Road. Eat local, drink local, and love local. It's the Local House Bistro. Time for our quick hits. Joe Sperlin, what do you have?
You know, I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was an election where Missouri approved online gaming. And
Vaguely.
yes. And I just saw they had a July 15 deadline to apply for the untethered sports betting license. So our good friends out at Circa in Las Vegas was one of the 3 joining DraftKings and FanDuel to go for the 2 licenses. So I do not know what they will do, if there will be a committee, but that's just recent news on that. That deadline was yesterday, I believe, and then there's another August 15th meeting, still waiting for that December 1st deadline. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Couple big hitters in on those licenses. So
Yeah. So I don't know if they'll say, well, we'll have to delay it to make that decision. Who knows?
yeah, we'll see.
Ron, that's all we'll say about that.
I think that's you don't want me to go on another rant. Is what you're saying?
No.
Thank you. Doug Lansdowne, what do you have?
I don't know if you saw it this afternoon, but the NCAA announced that Memphis men's basketball was placed on probation for academic violations.
No.
So you can give a kid $3.2 million and he can drive a brand new car, but They got in trouble for academic. Hell, they don't go to school. I mean, how do you get in trouble for academic violations anymore? I mean,
I think there was also a problem where they were paying other players to tutor other players.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, we wonder what the NCAA does, what they govern, this and that. But yes, yeah, they're placed on probation for academic violations.
And if you question anything Penny Hardaway is doing in there, then I can't believe you.
I'm just blown away.
Yep. Good point.
And it's Memphis, because we all remember the old joke that, North Carolina committed 9 major violations, so they gave Cleveland State 2 years of probation.
Yes.
So it's Memphis. Keith, what do you have?
Well, there's a little shakeup in the Blues broadcast booth this week. We're saying goodbye to John Kelly. Going to be really tough to see him go, and minus a Kelly name in a broadcast booth, either in TV or radio. They say it was not a cost-cutting move, but you got to keep that tradition alive, and you got to find a way to keep that name. Blues fans are very and deeply enriched in their history here, and to lose that big of a broadcast history it's going to be tough for a lot of fans, and I'm one of them. So.
Yeah, it's there's a change.org petition to bring him back that I've already seen, possibly signed. But they're going to the simulcast. And for those of you that remember Chick Hearn on the world champion Laker basketball network back in the mid 80s. So you'll be getting the same play-by-play for both TV and radio now. Yeah, exactly. So for my quick hit, I always enjoy anytime I see a new term that is 2 words that I know them independently, but I have to kind of stop and think what they mean when you put them together. And this has surfaced thanks to Luis Ortiz of the Cleveland Guardians.
Good job.
Thank you. And the term is called spot fixing. And I will just read the Wall Street Journal definition of spot fixing in their article. It's the practice of manipulating small, discrete events that have little to no bearing on the outcome of a game, such as the timing of a yellow card in soccer, a wide ball in cricket, a double fault in tennis. Or, in the case of Luis Ortiz, the result of one of roughly 300 pitches that he threw in a baseball game. So basically the issue was they noticed a very, very large number of bets that the first pitch in the 4th inning would be a ball. And if you've seen the video of the first pitch of the 4th inning, he made sure it was a ball. Just about, yeah. And Fangraphs went into a little detail on this, and they said, now think about this for a second. It can't be a pitch that the batter would somehow swing at. It can't be a pitch that an umpire would make a bad call and call it a strike. And it can't be something that your catcher will really help you out and frame. So it has to be kind of what he did, which was a slider in the dirt. Now think about slider in the dirt. You don't hear about those too often. So, this could be something, and Tom Mathis, who isn't here, said, heck, it could be as simple as a quarterback saying his first pass of the second quarter will be incomplete. Okay, second quarter, not going to hurt anything. Unless, of course, it's like, 3rd and 5. But Joe and Keith, as our expert gamblers, the gist of the Journal article said, this is next to impossible to stop.
I don't know how you can stop it. I mean, I don't know why you would do it either. I mean, that's the reason these guys get paid millions of dollars. Who's profiting from this? A brother, some guy they ran into in the bathroom stall. I mean, how do you stop this?
Yeah. And Mr. Ortiz is looking at being banned from baseball for life. And if you want to know how serious MLB is about that, if Peter Edward Rose were around, you could ask him. But
well, and people said, well, if you do online wagering, it's going to this is going to happen all the time. Well, the online wagering is how they caught it.
Exactly.
You know, someone bets $10,000 on what the first pitch of an inning is. No, I don't think so. And I'm just throwing that out there. And that's the same thing as the rebounding in the NBA. I mean, it was an abnormally huge amount that they caught and questioned them on it. And then they noticed that it just gradually, they got greedier and greedier and kept making more and more bets and more amounts, and they got caught.
Joe, every chance I get to bring this movie into the podcast, I picture the guy in Wall Street that had the glasses on and walks over and gets his boss and says, "Come here, you need to take a look at this." So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I'm picturing happened when they caught this guy.
That's exactly what it is.
So, Doug, in baseball games that, as far as we know, are not fixed, the St. Louis Cardinals sit here one game out of the wild card right now. What do you think about the first half?
I think the first half has gone surprisingly well. I mean, I think everybody's happy. You know, a few weeks ago I said I think they're 500. So I think 10 games from now they'll be 5-5 after those 10 games, and then 10 games after that they'll be 6-4, and 10 games after that they'll be 4-6. I like all the pieces. I like it. You know, I said early on I don't think the pitching's there, and you know it continues to deteriorate. And if they can get somebody to take Helsley, they better do it, because it's a smoke and mirror job when he gets a save now. So, you know, but you look at I mean, you talk about trading people and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know who they trade and get anybody, you know? So you maybe trade one or two guys, but I'm okay with letting these guys play. Yeah. You know, get 2 or 3 guys traded out there and call some young guys up and just let them go. I mean, I am surprised with how well it's worked out with some of these guys taking a role in developing. I mean, like Burleson has been great. So, you know, he's adapted to that role and everything. Some of the other guys, you know, Herrera, when he can stay healthy, I mean, I think he's proved what a valuable bat he is. And if they make the playoffs, I don't think they can win a series. So, you know, I think you continue to try to build for the future. But I think 30 games from now, you know, they'll be 16-14. 30 games out of the break. I think that's the kind of team they are. But I think you got to give the coaching staff a ton of credit. You know, I mean, the new hitting instructor has been awesome. And I think John Jay is the guy that, you know, and Descalzo, of course, I think they've, you know, it's a competitive edge. I think those guys have brought, they're so much better on defense. And I think that coaching staff is really, really underrated for what they've done.
It seems like they're playing looser, and that helps. You know, when you have a younger team, they play loose. Last year, again, it's hard to fathom that with Paul Goldschmidt on your team, there's stuffiness, there's holding the bat tighter or whatever the case is. But really, if you look at the big differences between the 2 years, it is coaching. Doug, I agree with you. I mean, that's the mindset that they bring into that clubhouse. And, you know, the young guys have had the runway. I did a little bit of a deep analysis last week. And the Cardinals, hitting, I think they're like 6th or 7th in the league on average. The pitching is like their starting pitchers are like 8th or 9th in the league ERA. So they're not horrible. It's just they just have these blow up moments in the midseason where they just can't find that consistent stride. It's going to be curious to see how the trade deadline is going to unfold, because we do need some starting pitching, I think, for a sustained run. If we do make the playoffs, Fetty cannot be part of that. Michaelis cannot be part of that. And I'm not going to go on a rant. I'm going to praise God. Please listen here. I'm not going to go on a rant on those two guys. But their time has passed, and we need more than innings eaters right here. If we're going to make a move, we need to have effective starts out of these guys right now. Fetty and Michaelis, they're not effective in their starts. Just not.
Yeah. And the starters ERA June 1st seems like kind of a day of differentiation here. Since May 30th, the starter's ERA is 5.25, which is 28th in the major leagues. And the run differential, Joe Sperlin, this is one of your favorite things. Since June 1st, they're minus 21. Before that, they were plus 37.
Yeah. I think if they make a move, it's not for the next 2.5 months. It's for the next 2.5 years.
Yep.
I mean, you know what you need. Don't do it for the next couple months. Do it for, all right, what do we need to continue here in the next 2 or 3 years?
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people have suggested they've got a guy named Nathan Church who's ready to come up. Left-hand hitter, plays good defense, hits for average and power. Joe, your boy Newt might be on the way out, except he had to happen. Went on the DL, or I'm sorry, the injured list.
Yes.
Yeah, he's disabled too.
Rib cartilage, massive injury. I still
I
don't
thought
know
it was
what
a
exactly
wrestling
that
belt.
is.
I thought he won the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
Wasn't that it? Oh,
Yeah.
Intercostal, sorry.
Yeah.
They're
exactly.
making up injuries for him now.
Hey,
He's
I
gone.
had to look that up. I really did. I was like, what?
I just thought he had a swing and miss problem.
That's it too.
I just didn't know he can see.
He was supposed to have this good eye, and then all of a sudden he was swinging at pitches before they'd been released. It was, I don't know. So I want to give credit to two people here on this call who, in the off season, mentioned two Cardinals for breakouts. Keith Farrell, you went on a 15-minute diatribe about one Matthew Liberatore in the off season. Nicely done.
Too far off. Yeah.
I cut it down to 7 for the podcast, but still, I left the good parts in.
I know, but my Steve Carlton comparison didn't quite come out yet. But that's for
Early.
next year. That's next
It's
year.
early. I see him winning 27 games next year. And then, Doug, in our prediction episode, you said Mr. Brendan Donovan was going to have a breakout year. And
Yeah, you did.
he was in the All-Star game last night.
Got a couple of hits.
And the stat that I heard that just kind of made me, spit my beverage was he's hitting .297, which leads the National League. Ouch. We're back to 1968 again, people.
Oh,
Juice the ball, lower the mound, do something.
I've heard all sorts of creative things, but it's not just him. And this was one stat this is from Bernie that I saw that just blew me away. The offense has scored no more than one run 23 times.
Oh.
And their record in those games, 1-22.
I was about to say,
What?
0-23?
Apparently they won a 1-0 game.
did you hear the deal?
1-0, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah. Did you hear the Oakland, or sorry, I think it's Sacramento, one of the batting coaches in the cage in the room, it says, they have a big sign that says, elevate and celebrate. That tells you all you need to know right there.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. And by the way, Colette is going to, we're going to catch up with him next Wednesday for a little bit of an update on Sacramento. No word if he's going to be joining us from the prefab structure.
So Tony La Russa was in town last week, and he was getting interviewed about where are some differences that you see, yesteryear versus current. And he's like, oh, you get a runner on third base and you're getting with nobody out and these guys are going up to bat trying to hit a 2-run homer. Well, there's your 1-0 game. That's the reason you have one run in 23 games this year. It's because these guys, the league, or I don't know who's telling these guys that you need more than one run to win, but small ball produces 3 to 4 runs, I think. I mean, you can't say Whitey ball didn't work, and it won't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think guys want to negotiate their next contract on small ball is the
I'm
problem.
getting ready to say, you can't find 9 guys that will be willing to do that.
But you're going to have a bunch of 6 and 7 year players who have a career average of 230 and 25 home runs. Is that? I mean, what would you rather have, a 300 hitter?
Paid $100 million.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
By the way, when we were growing up, we were told that Dave Kingman struck out so much it was terrible, and I went and looked at his strikeout totals. Guess what? Not that bad today.
Probably fits right in, doesn't he? That's a great
Not
point, Ron.
that bad.
Great point.
Making a lot of money.
Yeah. On Sunday night, we got speaking of the future, we got a little bit of what I believe to be good news when Liam Doyle of Tennessee was taken by the Cardinals in the first round. Keith Law said that the Cardinals were day one winners of the draft and that Doyle was his number one pitcher on the board, Keith Farrell.
Shoot, he might be the number one pitcher in the organization right now. And to have him, fast tracked in Double-A, and a lot of pundits are thinking he's going to be in the starting pitching staff next year on the big league club. Let's do it. Let's accelerate these guys. I'm tired of these guys getting buried and saying, what can he do at 26, 27? Let's get him up here. Let him learn. I think was it his? No, it's the other guy that we got from Tennessee, that 102 mile an hour flamethrower. He's a 2-pitch pitcher. And, he's another, wild card, but a lot of people are saying, hey, that was a steal of the draft right there. So, hard throwing. Looks like there's a change in philosophy for the Cardinals, and hopefully we could see the fruits of that, soon. These guys are ready to go.
Those aren't pitch to contact guys.
No. I would rather have wins and pennants than gold gloves. So
yes. Joe Sperlin, MLB correspondent at large. What's caught your eye here in the first half?
National League, besides for the Dodgers, it's going to be tight. And then Detroit, I think I saw at the All-Star game last night, the deal they'd been in first place 118 days. One thing we talked about, Ron, where the Rays got the okay to play in their stadium. Now, here's something crazy. The current owner that bought them in 2004 for $200 million sold them this past week for $1.7 billion.
That's okay.
And they're going to stay. Supposedly it's all going to work out and they're going to fix the stadium. And there you go. But hey, now big Rays fan, I want to see him play in that 10,000 seat stadium in the playoffs.
I think that'll be fun.
And what little I did not get to watch very much. I did not watch the free throw shootout, hit off, whatever it was called.
The free kicks, the penalty kicks.
But I'm telling you, I can't hardly watch baseball, for example, when there's guys that wear uniform numbers of former great players, and I sit there and just go, I can't watch. The Rooker for the Athletics, number 25, big old outfielder.
I caught that.
When he hit that home run and they showed it in slow motion, I go, my God, that looks like an pass 25, number 25 for the Athletics. I wish they would have put it on split screens because it looked exactly like him. Hey, and Kershaw, they ought to microphone every pitcher and make them talk.
I didn't think that would work, but my goodness, it did.
Hey, I like it when he started his windup and he said, Smoltzy, what do you want me to throw here? He had already started his windup. And Smolt says something like a sinker. And he goes, I don't throw a sinker. We know that. I mean, it was like, that was great. I mean, the only thing they should have done is they should have microphoned the hitter at the same time. Like, and not let them hear each other, but been like, all right, what pitch are you looking for?
Mm-hmm.
And seeing like, all right, I'm thinking fastball. And like, all right, here comes a fastball. Or them going, all right, what pitch you think's coming? Here comes a changeup. Oh, here it comes.
I'm going back to when we all grew up and it was a game show that you couldn't escape in the afternoon, and they would say, the password is soda.
But I think it would have been great to have the hitters that he pitched to have asked him to and been like, had someone talking to them and say, all right, what are you looking for right here?
That's a lot of fun. And speaking of Let's just go into our loose ends because we want to talk a little bit more all-star game in our loose ends. Joe, I agree with you. And they were talking in St. Louis today about, I don't know if you saw it, but they were playing the Cubs, Cardinals playing the Cubs, and Mason Wynn was mic'd up for like a 40-minute inning.
Yes.
It became the Mason Wynn show for a
And
period of
he
time.
wanted to say,
where they
damn it, throw a strike.
where they started asking him questions from people sending in on Twitter.
If you've got a question for Mason, go ahead and hit us with hashtag #TalkToMason. Yeah, that was interesting. But so last night was the first game that ended in a swing off, and I was sitting on the couch, and I said to Jamie, "Before you ask, I have no idea how this works." But apparently, it got rave reviews.
Hey, you said, should they do that? Hey, why don't after the inning, instead of letting the runner, just have the pitching coach come out and pitch?
That's my thought. That was my thought. If they did this, who the hell is going to pitch to these guys? The guy who made the last out in the last inning?
Oh, that's good. I still couldn't believe Mark Pryor was a
Or
coach.
just do a random draw. Who's pitching? The center fielder. Oh my God!
It'd be
A
like-
random fan from section 202.
Yeah. That's what it's going to be.
all right, honey, hold my beer. I've got to go throw some pitches.
Got to go throw some strikes today.
And we also had the robot umps last night. Well, robot umps it's got a fancy name. It's the pitch something whatever. What do we think of that?
Boy, Tariq was all over it. He knew that was a strike the second he threw it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like that was a strike. I think the guy batting knew it too. Everybody knew it the umpire.
I think they were a little cautious on some of those pitches too. Like, I don't think the batter wanted to go straight to it. Just didn't want to show up the umpire on an all-star game. So I saw a couple of those early on.
Yeah, imagine that. Congratulations, Mr. Umpire. You are the home plate umpire for the All-Star game. Oh, by the way, guess what?
And they're
We'll be checking
how
your
many
work.
pitches you've missed already.
Yeah, exactly.
And he just throws his mask off and says, "Well, then the hell with it. Just have the robot do it. I'm out of here."
Walked away. Right. I heard that there was a proposal, and I cannot make this up, that they were going to go to the ABS and there would be a buzzer on the umpire's belt, and it would like buzz once for a ball and two for. No, I cannot make this up. That they were going to just have the ABS or the ball strike thing so fast that someone would buzz down to the umpire whether it was a ball or a strike.
How about if it's just an electrical shock? If it's a strike,
throw
he
up
goes,
the right arm. Just throw up the right arm.
Hey, yeah. If it was a ball, nothing would happen, and everyone would stop and be like, "All right, we're good."
Dear Rob Manford, we have a great idea.
Yeah.
We are this close to Enrico Palazzo behind the plate, I'm telling you. So now that we've set the game of baseball back a good 5 to 10 years, let's talk about a guy named Shamar Stewart, who happened to be the Bengals' first-round draft choice. And contract talks with the Bengals aren't going so well. So Joe, he is now practicing with Texas A&M from where he was drafted. And people, as I said before we went on, some people said, "Can he go back? Can he play in college this year?"
I was the exact same thing, and they in the NFL set this up so they know how much money they're getting. And I know there was all kinds of other things in it, but I don't know.
He might make more money at Texas A&M with NIL this
He
year.
should have stayed then. But I don't know how you can go back. But
No, technically there's a rule against it, but considering what we've seen with NCAA rules in the past couple of years,
injunction, allowed to play, and there you go.
that's it. Yeah. And then our final loose end, Keith Farrell, the Athletic, ran a poll of which team improved the most in the offseason. They ranked the teams from 1 to 32, and the Blues come in at number 20. Too high, too low, about right.
I would say about right. They didn't make any huge splashy moves with proven players. So they brought in a second line center. We'll see. He had a good year last year. They brought in a fourth liner, that Budgeland guy. He's supposed to be added, and the biggest question that's going to be answered is, we got rid of Letty and we added Malo. Hey, if that guy has a great year, it's going to be 10th. And that's the beauty about the preseason most improved list. They're looking for just talking points at this stage of the game. I think they're going to be a little bit better than that. I think where the Blues end up is going to be are just a smidge better than they were last year, and that's going to be good enough for the playoffs.
That's the 5% improvement that Army talks about. So,
yep.
With that, we are going to take a commercial break. We're going to hear a little bit more from Sandra Templeoff and First Coast Steel Buildings. And a reminder of what we shared at the beginning, Jason is offering 15% off anyone impacted by the floods down in Texas. We know we have listeners in Texas, by the way. We see a little map where people listen, and we actually have a fairly strong Texas following. So with that, we'll hear from First Coast, and we'll be right back.
Are you in the market for a barn dominium, house, garage, man cave, carport, or hobby shop? Wondering how to get started or where to go? Whatever you are looking to design, look no further than First Coast Steel Buildings. Give Jason and his team a call at 912-314-4848. They will guide you through the process, designing your building to fit your specific needs and budget. Call them today at 912-314-4848 or get inspirational ideas and start designing your own by visiting them at firstcoaststeel.com. Again, that's the number 1, coaststeel.com. Their low-cost buildings are fully galvanized steel, providing you with worry-free, low-maintenance requirements, integrity, quality, and a family-first approach. First Coast Steel Buildings, 912-314-4848 or firstcoaststeel.com. Discounts for military and first responders.
And welcome back to the St. Louis Sports Podcast, along with Joe Sperlin, Doug Lansdowne, and Keith Farrell. My name is Ron Cook, and folks, I just have to tell you that if we ever put together a compilation of conversations during the commercial break, first of all, I will need a new identity and a new country. But anyway,
this one won't be in it.
Joe Sperlin's SEC Media Days. A good time was had by all.
Hey, every year I watch that, I miss the old head ball coach being down there. Lane Kiffin, I think, is trying to take that role, but there's no way. I mean, if you got 9 minutes to watch that interview with him and Feinbaum on there that they did, that was gold stuff. I mean, but yeah, as McElroy said, a good source commented that Saban may be back. Well, Lane Kiffin pretty much admitted it because he says, why does he need to be out of coaching? But Miss Terry ain't approving that. That ain't happening.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's a pretty cushy gig they're doing game day.
Yeah. And Kiffin was just like, I get tired of coming down and listening to the same coach talk and all this stuff. So, I mean, he tries to be the all head ball coach. He just now knows nowadays it gets spread too fast and he can't single out people. He just makes very vague references to people. And it's pretty entertaining sometimes.
Well, if he ever won a game that mattered, people would listen to him more.
And Feinbaum has said that to him. I mean, Kiffin has said that. He goes, thanks for reminding me that if I ever win a game, maybe,
I will say, coming back from the SEC Media Days, driving back with Jadeveon Clowney, Spurrier a fan took one of the greatest pictures of Spurrier I've ever seen. I think he was at I forget what It was an Arby's.
I still have that picture somewhere.
I have that picture too. That might be our picture we use for the podcast this week. And he's standing there with his tie around his neck, topping off the beverage.
Yes.
With his shades on inside.
Yes.
It's just epic. Doug Lansdowne at the University of Missouri Columbia. They have a guy named Sam Horn, big dude. And he's in the mix to see some action at, you're almost back to the dreaded running quarterback and throwing quarterback. So Bo Pribula, that's what we're going to go with tonight. Pribula, rhymes with fibula. The transfer from Penn State is clearly the running quarterback. Sam would be the throwing quarterback, except Sam was drafted by the Dodgers in the 18th round. Doug, what are they going to do?
Well, I call him Eli have a drink and wink. So he will figure something out probably. When I heard Horn got drafted, I'm thinking, okay, what's he going to do? And the Dodgers drafted him. He's got to go to the Dodgers. So I think it's Pribula. And I think Joe said a few months ago, I've never seen the guy throw a pass.
Hey, the BYU quarterback's looking for a new place.
I swear I had that thought this afternoon.
His morals will not get in the way at MU.
No.
Is there a code, morality code at Mizzou? Don't answer that. Scratch that.
We'd like to introduce you to DGB. Okay.
Okay. Oops.
So in case you're wondering, there is a deadline because deadlines bring action, Keith. There's a deadline of 4 p.m. on July 28th where he has to decide if he is going to take that major league offer or if he's going to stay in Columbia, Missouri and play home games until late October.
I think he needs to stay at home. Wouldn't you? Money talks. I think it's a real simple formula. What's he going to? He probably gets his meals are probably going to be better at Mizzou than if he went elsewhere. That's a big deal. But either way, he needs to stick around. Simple as that.
Well, and they said drafted 18th round. A lot of guys, if they have high aspirations, they're like, oh, well, let me have another year. But then they said, but it's the Dodgers.
It's the Dodgers. They have a reputation of developing young talent. And they got a great minor league system. Money talks. Unless he's already set up.
How the hell did Mizzou get a player drafted? Didn't they win like 2 games?
They were very bad.
They were horrible.
They were historically awful in baseball this year.
Honestly, weren't they like 7-50 or something like that?
Yeah. It was really bad.
When I heard they got a guy drafted, and then I heard it was Horn, I'm like, oh, okay, well, he's got an arm on him. But I didn't think they'd have a player drafted. Because they were so bad.
Yeah.
Well, MLB draft, they cut that thing used to be like 65 rounds. What they get that down to these years? What's it currently?
Way down. And that's, of course, a player thing because they want the kids to be able to sign with have more choice in terms of who they go to if they're kind of like the NFL draft used to be, 18 rounds as opposed to the current 7. And Joe, finally, an extortion watch. Greg Sankey says that college football, and Greg, of course, is the commissioner of the Southeastern Conference, says that they could stay at 12 teams in the playoffs if we can't agree on an expanded format. You want to encode or decode that for us?
I think it's just him saying we're the SEC and you're not, and we're going to do what we want. And, like I said before we got started, the story was the Big Ten says, all right, you need to go to a 9-game schedule so we can have comparison to each other. And I don't see that happening. And I don't know. They were talking about the executive order that it was crazy today what I was hearing. And that was right. That was probably about 4:00. So
I wonder if someone from the SEC officially responded to the Big Ten and said, well, hey guys, thanks for that suggestion. We really appreciate it.
Well, as they said, that had been going on. Feinbaum said something like he's been doing reporting on the SEC for 30 years, and he goes, and that was a discussion 30 years ago. So he said, I don't see that changing tomorrow. So
I don't either.
Yeah.
So Doug, switching gears and switching continents, it is time for the Open Championship at Royal Port Rush. What makes Royal Port Rush? Is it like a lot of those that we've come to know and love, like St. Andrews, or does it have a little bit more personality?
Well, it's the only one, of course, it's played in Ireland, and it actually is the northern part of Ireland, and it has all kinds of elevation changes. So it's considered a links course, but with the elevation change, it's different. If they get bad weather, it will be brutal. So I hope they have 2 days that's just brutal. I hope some of those cats shoot like 88. So, when they played there in 2019, the first 3 days there was nothing, and Shane Lowry got out to a big lead and everything, and then the weather came in on Sunday, and I think he shot 75 and still won by 3 strokes. So
Yeah.
It's
The forecast right now is for rain every day.
Yeah, but they said the highest wind supposed to blow right now is 12, and like one guy said, he goes, well, that's not even, the wind doesn't even blow 12 miles an hour in Ireland. So it's the elevation change, it's the weather. So if they get some bad weather, it'll be interesting and stuff. But it is a really, really cool course. They have names for all their holes, and the hole to watch is number 16. It's a 235-yard par 3, and they call it Calamity Corner.
Cool.
So that'll
That's
be
fun.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. I hope it's into the wind and raining when they play it.
And my personal favorite, pot bunkers. Doug, have you ever tried to hit a ball out of a pot bunker before?
I have. It came back and hit me. Yeah.
Right in the pot bunker.
Yeah. When they say you need to hit it out sideways, yes, you hit it out sideways. Yeah.
It's not a time for hubris.
No, it's not. So, but I think, and the guy's played great all year, and he is due. I think Justin Rose can pull it off this week.
Mm-hmm. Now, according to Keith and Joe, according to our good friends at BetMGM, you're looking at Rahm, Hatton, defending champion Xander Schauffele, Robert McIntyre, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth, Doug?
Jordan Spieth has not finished outside the top 15 in the British Open in like 10 years. He plays really, really good over there because of the creativity. Yeah. He plays.
I still remember Matt Kuchar kneeling on the rug while Spieth went over by the TV trucks. I will never forget that.
Yeah. Rahm will probably win because you don't have to be a great putter to win the British Open, but I think Justin Rose may do something.
Well, as long as John Rahm and his anger management practices are in place. And some Ryder Cup news, apparently.
So, it's getting close to the Ryder Cup. I was lucky enough to go to the Ryder Cup, and when it was at Whistling Straits, and I've been to a lot of events. Now, I have not been to a Super Bowl, and I've not been to a Final Four, but the Ryder Cup was the biggest. It was the event that I've went to that I enjoyed the most and everything like that. So Keegan Bradley is the captain. The top 6 qualify, and he's like 8th, and he should pick himself. But I'm saying he picks himself. He picks Patrick Reed, and they are the first team off on Friday at the Ryder Cup. And those people in New York go crazy, and that's my going out on a limb for the Ryder Cup.
Captain America going off number in the first group.
Yep.
My goodness. So we will keep an eye on that. And then back here, much, much closer to home. In fact, about 18 miles from where Keith and I are right now. Keith, City won a game.
Hey, what? You're kidding me. What? I totally tuned out. No. They actually scored some goals. What the hell's going on in St. Louis? They're obviously auditioning players for next year. They're seeing what's working. Injuries have killed them. 9 goals in the last 5 games. And what I write down here, they had 14 in the last 17. So that's a good trend. They're finding the net. And the last I checked is, soccer is a game where you got to score some goals if you want to put some points on your standings board. And, hopefully they can keep this momentum going. Have they found the magic formula with Critchley and Lutz it seemed like there's a way different team out there every single week. And I just think they're trying to find what works right now. They're just trying to establish some chemistry. And, another thing too, where I'm kind of disappointed in, just kind of was looking at some players and stats. That Lallam guy, that first round pick that we had out of last year's super draft, nothing. Kyle Hebert has more goals than this Lallam guy. It's unbelievable. And this guy's got a laser beam of a shot. It's like the ball bounces off of Hebert and it goes in the goal. Might go in our goal, might go in the other team's goal. You never know. Wallam's got this laser beam, and he can't find room out there, and it's crazy. And he's I don't know. I'm curious to see what the plans for him going forward too.
I will say this though, Kyle Hebert is much better at preparing taxes than Conrad Wallam is probably my guess there. Our boys, our friends over on Ball Watching said that the locker room is back, that actually the Critchley change has kind of brought about much more of a all-for-one attitude, which makes me go back to what I've said before. What the hell did Melberg do to him? Still not sure.
It's insane to think, how many different coaches, how many different messages. I mean, all those players' heads have to be spinning in that locker room when they're getting so much. But you told me last week that I should be covering this zone in this formation, and now I'm just glad they need to have some continuity. They need to stick with a plan. I don't care who it is at this point.
Keith, one of my favorite moments, to your exact point, was earlier this year. Klaus was up getting ready to start the high press, and he turns around and looks, and he's the only one standing up there to press. And he like waves to everyone, hey.
Yeah, it's like they're coming around. I do that. Obviously 9 goals in the last 5 games is a step in the right direction. And, they seem to, like you said, the locker room issues are solved. They're getting good effort. And this interim coach, Critchley, man, I think he's got a case for sticking around next year.
I think he does too. He will have some help. And boy, is this a great name. City brought in Senegalese center back Fallou Fall. I just like saying that. Fallou Fall. Fallou. He's apparently supposed to be quite good. Crazy fast, tall, kicks left, Keith. He kicks left.
A guy who can kick left on a team. Wow. We've been looking for that since the 6th grade. But, it's nice to have a guy that's a natural lefty who can play a natural position on the left side and, create some havoc. I mean, good move.
Yeah, and Joe Sperlin could not believe this when I told him, but we're actually playing a team that could arguably be worse than us this Saturday when we take on, Doug shaking his head no, when we take on FC Dallas on the road in their last 10 games. They have won 1.
Well, St. Louis has only won 1 road game this year. So
is this a game
I
for the
think we're
number 1 draft pick?
I'm sorry, Joe.
Game for the number 1 draft pick.
Yep.
It could be, and it's as my father used to say, someone has to win. Actually, this is soccer. Never mind. It could be a draw.
That could be a draw.
Yeah, erase that last comment there. So with that, we have reached the last call, brought to you by the Local House Bistro. Joe Sperlin, what do you have for a last call?
Hey, the SEC days kind of get you, media days get you ready for football about 5 weeks to week 0. But, hey, put this on your calendar now. August 30th, 11 o'clock, Texas and Ohio State. 2:30, Alabama, Florida State. 6:30, LSU in the Battle of Death Valley at Clemson. And then 10 o'clock, just so you can say it, a different version of Pac-12 After Dark, Utah at UCLA.
Pac-12 app.
So clear your calendar for week 1.
Outstanding. Yeah, that Tiger game is going to
Is
be.
that one of those Cinemax
outstanding.
commercials, Pac-12 After Dark?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of those games have been, yeah.
My question is, how does LSU... Well, I'm not going to say it. I'll save that for next week.
Yeah, we've got to figure out, our big college and pro football preview. I saw a thing today that just kind of made me shudder a little bit. It was from The Athletic, and it was the running backs to avoid in your fantasy draft. And I'm like, okay.
Right around the corner.
It's sneaking up on us here.
Yep.
All right. Doug Lansdowne, what do you have?
This is partially from one of yours a few months ago, football related. 4th of July, Najee Harris suffers an eye injury, and now he's on the non-football injury list. So when does Jason Pierre-Paul do an announcement for the league to avoid fireworks?
Because a word to the wise.
A word
sufficient.
for the wise is sufficient. I remember him playing with that club when he finally came back. Yeah.
And then, of course, the other great 4th of July story was when Vermeil was in Philadelphia, and it was 1976. You know this one. 1976. And he was so locked in that he walked out from like these meetings he was having with the coaches and says, "What's that?" And they're like, "Coach, it's fireworks. It's the country's 200th birthday." He's like, "Oh, okay." Turns around and goes back in.
Yep.
Okay. Keith Farrell.
Well, I started off a quick take with John Kelly. So I want to stay in the field of broadcast. And I just want to say hats off to your interview with Zipper Zeppa last weekend. It was first class. So,
thank you. Yeah, Zip is just one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. And thanks to those of you who listen, who have reached out. Just a great time. We had a blast. And I still need to post his hit record, by the way, The Ballad of the Bengals. So thank you for that, Keith. Mine is something that kind of made my head explode, and the good news is they've got a couple of years to figure this out. In 2028, what if I told you that the Major League Baseball players are going to play in the Olympics? It's true. Now, here's the problem. Our old friend Rob Manfred apparently was surprised by something. I know that in itself is surprising, but the U.S. Olympic Committee said basically, here are the dates. We will need your players. And they actually picked the All-Star break.
unreal.
And so Manfred is now trying to figure out, okay. And someone in the article said that, they mentioned to Rob that the Olympic Committee was not big on changing things. They're kind of like, this is when the 100-meter final will be.
Well,
Yes.
with the excitement that Caribbean Latin baseball brings to the world stage, if you can gather the top 20 players out of Dominican, Mexico, Venezuela, whatever, Puerto Rico, it's going to bring some excitement to that Olympics. Was it the World Baseball Tournament? Those guys go nuts. So I think it'd be great for baseball. I really do. I mean, I don't think if they can move the All-Star game out of Atlanta over the state's voting record or whatever the case is, they can move the date of that All-Star game.
I think they're going to probably have to. And, this is, I was thinking, this is more than 4 nations for your All-Star. This is, how many ever nations have a bat and a ball?
Yeah.
That's a good point. God.
So anyway, like I said, the good news is they've got a couple years to figure that out. And hey, with Rob Manfred on it, I am convinced that we will come out with a great, great solution.
What could go wrong?
Oh, exactly. What could possibly go wrong? So
Bite your tongue.
Yeah. Stand back and watch. So on that very sincere note of praise for Rob Manfred, Joe Sperlin, thank you very much, sir.
Oh, enjoyed it. Good to visit with you guys.
Doug Lansdowne,
Happy to be back. Thanks.
and Keith Farrell.
We'll see you next week.
And we'll also see if, again, Tom Mathis's wife, Christy, listens to the podcast. I haven't checked my messages yet. Well, we haven't published, so anyway. On behalf of everyone, thank you for listening. We appreciate you. Please follow us, like us, download us, all of those happy things that people tell you to do on podcasts. And we will talk to you next week. Take care.
And that wraps another episode of the St. Louis Sportus Podcast. Please like and subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest episodes. You can find these guys on all major podcast platforms. And thanks for listening.